Chad, Idriss Déby leaves behind a legacy of abuse. Nairobi, Chad's Transitional Military Council should strictly respect human rights and the rule of law, ensuring that civilians are protected and avoiding any escalation of abuses against civilians, Human Rights Watch said. The Military Council should also ensure a swift transition to a democratic civilian government, respecting the right of Chadians to elect their leaders in free and fair elections. A Chadian army spokesman announced on national television on the 20th of April 2021 that President Idriss Déby Itno, aged 68, had died of injuries sustained during clashes between rebels and government forces. The exact circumstances of his death remain unclear. The spokesman said the government and parliament have been dissolved, all borders have been closed, and a transitional military council headed by Mahamat Idriss Déby Itno, one of Idriss Déby's sons, will run the country for the next 18 months. This is contrary to Chad's constitution, which states that in the event of the death of the President of the National Assembly must temporarily leave the country for 45 to 90 days, before new elections are held. The potentially explosive consequences of the death of President Idriss Déby cannot be underestimated, both for the future of Chad and for the region, said Ida Sawyer, Deputy Africa Director at Human Rights Watch. Chad's regional and international partners should monitor the situation closely and use their influence to prevent abuses against civilians. On April 19, Chad's Electoral Commission announced that Idriss Déby had won a sixth term in April 11th presidential election. The pre-election period had been marked by a brutal government crackdown on protesters and the political opposition. On the day of the vote, rebels from the Libyan-based Front pour l'Alternance at La Concorde au Chad FACT invaded Chad, attacked a military post, and called on Idriss Déby to leave power. Clashes between rebels and government forces continued in the following days in the western province of Kanem. The African Union and AU should urgently deploy a designated crisis team within its conflict prevention and early warning division, including human rights monitors, to monitor developments and urge Chadian security forces and armed groups not to attack civilians, Human Rights Watch said. The AU should appoint a new special envoy for the Sahel to strengthen and coordinate its efforts in the region. The African Commission on Human and People's Rights (ACHPR) and the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights (OHCHR) should also closely monitor the situation and support the work of local human rights defenders. For years, international actors have supported Idriss Déby's government because of its support for counterterrorism operations in the Sahel and the Lake Chad Basin, and its involvement in other regional initiatives, while turning a blind eye to its record of repression and social and economic rights violations in the country. Chadian transitional leaders should, with the support of regional and international partners, work to reverse Chad's downward human rights trajectory, concluded Ida Sawyer. They should ensure a swift and peaceful transition to civilian rule, based on the exercise of Chadians' free choice in fair elections. Background: Idriss Déby had ruled Chad since December 1990, when he overthrew Hissène Habré, who has since been convicted by a special court in Senegal of crimes against humanity, war crimes and torture, including rape and sexual slavery. While Idriss Déby supported the prosecution of his predecessor, he ensured that his role as military leader when the atrocities were committed was not revealed, and he broke his promise to compensate Hissène Habré's victims. Despite its vast oil wealth, Chad remains one of the poorest countries in the world. Chad ranked last in the World Bank's Human Capital Index 2020, while the United Nations Development Programme ranked it 187 out of 189 countries in its Human Development Index 2020. Idriss Déby's government has received significant international support for its role in the fight against armed Islamist groups in the Sahel and the Lake Chad Basin. Chad has committed 1,000 troops to the G5 Sahel Joint Force, the military force created to counter armed Islamist groups in the Sahel region, with the support of the European Union, Saudi Arabia, and the United States, among others. It has also contributed 3,000 troops to the Mixed Multinational Force, a joint military force mandated by the African Union to respond to Boko Haram attacks in the Lake Chad Basin, with support from the EU, France, the UK, and the US. N'Djamena, the capital of Chad, hosts the headquarters of the Barkhane Force, the French counter-terrorism operation in Mali. Between October 2017 and 2020, Chad reportedly sent soldiers to Libya in support of the eastern-based commander Khalifa Haftar and his armed group known as the Libyan Arab Armed Forces. Chad and Sudan have also engaged in factional warfare for years, with armed tribal militias active on both sides of the border. Chad is currently home to some 370,000 Sudanese refugees from Darfur.
Run! Aduh guys, gue